I wish I never stopped chasing my dreams. When I was young, much younger than I am now, because hey, I'm still a teenager, right? Although I'm like 19 now. I was someone who was unambitious, right? I was unambitious. I didn't believe in the education system. Like, to me, it just seems so frivolous and stupid. Like, why do I need to know about fucking calculus? Like, how is that gonna help me in my life? And I always just saw education, like getting a job, as a means to an end, as a means of doing something that I hate in order to be able to do the things that I want to do, which would lead me to having this fucked up mentality where I would focus myself more on pleasure, desire, instant gratification, because what's the point of living? What's the point of life? If everybody's like this, then why do I need to try hard? That mentality would eventually lead me to thinking a lot of stupid shit, right? Because I didn't care about school, right? So I would just like barely fucking pass everything. And it would also lead to me just not really trying anything. Not really like giving my all. Not really doing my best in the things that I do, right? And the things that I want to do as well. Because what's the point? And honestly, deep down, there was a part of me that wanted to try, right? That wanted to try. I wanted to like do his best. I wanted to get that higher grade, that like the fucking 95 high honor score, and like on my report card. And I wanted that, right? I wanted that, but I was afraid. I was afraid of the pain. I was afraid of the work that I needed to put in. So I just put it off, like told myself an excuse that it doesn't really matter anyway. Why do I even need to try hard? Fast forward now to when I discovered self improvement, right? When I discovered self improvement, everything just seemed to click, right? Because I had this mentality of if everybody is like this, then what's the point? But then, suddenly, as if a fucking rock was thrown at the glass wall that was encased, like, that encased me, and broke it. And suddenly, like, shattered every single limiting belief that I had. And it made me realize that what you see around you isn't everything. What you see other people do isn't all that they do. There are other people out there who work hard as fuck, who like do everything in their power, who really, really puts in the fucking work to make something happen, to accomplish their goals. And there I was, ha, I want to be part of this group. I don't want to be a part of these pussies right here. I don't want to be a part of these fucking nobodies. I want to be somebody. I want to help other people out. As I'm saying this right now, it just seems so odd because there I go, like belittling all these people, and then I would like have this mentality of I want to help other people out. To explain it very clearly, it's basically just for people who like don't really make a change for themselves, right? I don't like people like that. I don't like people who know they can be better, who know they can be different, yet still choose to be a bitch, right? And the people who I want to help are people who want to change. So that's like a little side tangent there. But yeah, that became a dream of mine. Mainly with YouTube, right? Starting the YouTube channel. I went ahead, I started the channel, right? But I didn't make any fucking videos. I always just like went off into fantasy land. I still had like the porn problem, right? The porn fucking addiction. So I kept fucking up, and it would lead me to quitting. Quitting because it was too hard. It was too difficult. Why is it so hard to do? Why is it so tough? And I was afraid again. I was afraid of coming back, of trying like my hand at this like pursuit once more, because that pain made me fear that I can never become what I want to be. And it made me choose comfort. It made me choose what I already knew. It made me choose to be a bitch. And I hated myself for it. Because in the back of my mind, with every single day that passed, I always just thought about it. When I wasn't busy distracting myself with endless fucking shorts, with like brain rotted content, with TikTok, with fucking porn, with video games, with so much mindless garbage. When everything turned off and I was just left with my own thoughts, I always just thought about trying again. I always just thought about that what if. What if you could make it? What if you could do it? What if you can become him? Why not you? And these thoughts would just spin around and around and around, and it never stopped. For most of my life, as I fucking battled against my porn addiction, as I kept trying to make something of myself and fucking up. No matter what, no matter the time when all of it just shuts off, when the distractions just leave me, I'm left with my thoughts. The only thing that comes to mind was the fact that I could have been more. I could have been different. I could have been better. I could be chasing my goals right now. I could be fucking doing something with my life right now. I could be like fucking chasing the YouTube success. I could be like fucking achieving my 10 out of 10 aesthetic physique. I could be somebody. Anybody. Yet why do I choose this? It's always there. I think that for people who want change, who know they could change, and choose to be otherwise, choose to just flop over, settle for less, know very well in the back of their minds that deep down they want more. That deep down they aren't really satisfied. They're fucking depressed with the way they're living their lives. Yet they still choose that comfort. Because pain, that pain of trying again, that pain of the unknown, of not knowing if you could accomplish it, that pain of trying to make any sliver of progress, and that progress having to be destroyed by your own hands due to problems that you have in your life, can lead to such tremendous suffering that honestly, a lot of us would rather just run away from it. My argument with myself would always just lead to regret. I came into this world and I lived my life not knowing of change, not knowing that I could be better, not knowing that I could chase goals and become someone that's just fucking great, that you can't avoid, someone that's just like shining. And with that knowledge, I believe it can also be at times what you would call a curse, because now you know you could be better, because now you know you could be different, and now you can't settle for anything less. It's not a curse, it's a blessing. Because we now know of what we could have been, we can choose to be different. Regret is something that's always what I think about when Whenever I choose to be a bitch, right? Whenever shit hits the fan, I fuck up, and I would get stuck in a rut, I'd always just think about my life, my family, how I could have lived, how I could have shown up to other people and to myself. I imagine myself with that 10 out of 10 aesthetic physique. I imagine myself acquiring my success with my passion, with YouTube. Getting that 100,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, getting those fucking play buttons. I imagine myself acquiring money, success, monetary gains. I imagine myself being confident, walking around with like the biggest fucking balls in the room. I imagine myself approaching girls, having a 10 out of 10 baddie. And I also imagine the people around me. I imagine what I could have given to my mother. A bigger house. Her own personal garden because she likes to like, plant shit. I imagine helping her and my father with their expenses. I imagine like going on trips, letting them go on trips, helping them to live the life they never could have because they always just had to work for us. I imagine helping other people. I imagine donating money to help starving children here in my country. I imagine homelessness, destroying that. So much I could do. So much I could be. And then I future pace myself into what it would look like. What my future would look like. How grim and dark it could be if I chose to never change. I imagine myself still living with my parents, leeching off of them. I'd be fat, I'd be smelly, and have facial hair disgustingly, I look very unclean. Very, what's the word? Like a Reddit moderator. I also imagine how I would look. I'm fat. I'm very all over the place. My eyes would just jitter all around from place to place because of how fucked up my attention span is. My bedroom would smell of cum because I jerk off 5 times a day, even though my dick doesn't even get hard anymore. I don't even work. I don't even provide anything. I'm just a liability, a burden. My mother, I imagine her like just still working her fucking job to provide for a fat fuck like me even though I'm fucking 30. I've become a NEET. I shut myself off from reality. I've accepted nothingness. Even less than nothing. I accepted becoming a burden. And I just know that in the back of my mind, I would wish I never stopped chasing my dreams. I wish I didn't quit. I wish I tried again. Maybe then my parents wouldn't have to suffer so much. Maybe then I wouldn't have been living this kind of life. Maybe then I wouldn't be fat, broke, ugly. I can't even go outside anymore because I hate how I look. I hate how people would see me. I'm ashamed. I'm disgusted. And assuming I'd still live my life from that point on, or I'd commit suicide, I imagine myself at the judgment seat of Christ, because I believe in God. This is a concept that David Goggins talks about, and it's all about sitting there in the judgment seat of Christ and having God show you everything that you could have been. That 10 out of 10 physique. The fact that I would retire my parents, help them out with their expenses. The YouTube success. I'm helping other people. I've become a prominent figure in this space and I'm helping other people. The women in my life, right? I imagine everything He just shows me. I would say, God, that isn't me. That wasn't the life that I lived. And He would reply, no, Chester, It's who you could have been. Imagine the pain. Imagine the regret. Imagine the fucking shame. And having to live with that for all eternity. I don't know about you, but that is suffering beyond suffering. Because now I see that I could be more. And to settle for less, and having to know that I settled for less, and just right in front of my eyes, so close yet out of reach, the man I should have been. Now that, I can't say I can live with that, because it hurts. I don't want it. I hate it, down to my very fucking core. And because of that, I've taken it upon myself to just never, ever, ever quit. Ever fucking again. No more. No more. Because I'd rather live trying. I'd rather live doing my best, fucking solving these problems that seem impossible, but are not really. It's just very fucking hard to do. I'd rather play the hand that I've been dealt, fight my way through life, and try to make something of myself. Give my all to making something of myself, rather than giving up. Because I know the regret, the shame, the depression that would follow, the destruction, the things that I would lay waste to if I let myself go down this path of least resistance. If you found this video helpful in any way, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below so that more people can recommend this type of content. Keep moving forward, no matter how hopeless it seems. Bye bye.